Hola, amigos. ¿Cómo estas? Soy Marvin. Today we're going to go over the conditional perfect tense. We're going to go over when to use it and how to use it. Vámonos. The conditional perfect tense. You should use it only to talk about something that would have happened, could have happened, or should have happened, but it didn't happen. It explains what would or wouldn't have happened. The action depending on something that's happening or not. For example, if I said I would have gone to the movies, but it's snowing outside, that would be in the conditional perfect tense because I'm talking about something that would have happened. In this case, me going to the movies, but it didn't happen because it was snowing outside. Okay, everybody. So we went over when to use the conditional perfect tense. Now we are going to go over how to use it. The conditional perfect is a compound verb formed with a conditional of the auxiliary verb haber, meaning to have, and the past participle of the main verb. As you can see, the table on the right here shows the verb haber being used in the conditional perfect tense. We'll be using two verbs, which are hablar, which means to talk, and ir, which means to go. Let's start with hablar, to talk. In the yo form, it is habría, haber, hablado. That means I would have talked. In the tu form, tu habrías, haber, hablado. That means you would have talked. Él, ella, ustedes. In that form, it would be él habría, haber, hablado. That means he would have talked. Ella habría, haber, hablado. That means she would have talked. In the nosotros form, nosotros habríamos haber hablado. That means we would have talked. In the ellos, ellas, ustedes form, ellos or ellas habrían haber hablado. That means they would have talked. Now let's go to the verb ir, to go. So if I said yo habría haber ido, that means I would have gone. In the tu form, tu habrías haber ido, that means you would have gone. In the él, ella, ustedes form, if I said él habría haber ido, that means he would have gone. Ella habría haber ido, that means she would have gone. In the nosotros form, nosotros habríamos haber ido, that means we would have gone. In the ellos, ellas, ustedes form, if I said ellos or ellas habrían haber ido, that means they would have gone. On the last slide, we used the verb haber with hablar, to talk, and ir, to go. On this slide, we are doing the same thing, except this time, instead of ir, to go, we have ganar, to win, or to earn. So this time, instead of saying, I would have, da 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 da, we're now going to say, could have, da 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 da. So in the yo form, we have yo podría haber ganado. That means I could have won. We have tú podrías haber ganado. That means you could have won. In the él, ella, usted form, we have él podría haber ganado. He could have won. And ella podría haber ganado. She could have won. In the nosotros form, nosotros podríamos haber ganado. That means we could have won. In the ellos, ellas, ustedes form, ellos or ellas podrían haber ganado. That means they could have won. We are going to be conjugating the verb jugar, to play, and we will still be using the auxiliary verb haber. We have the yo form, yo debería haber jugado, I should have played. Tú deberías haber jugado, you should have played. In the él, ella, usted form, él debería haber jugado, he should have played. Ella debería haber jugado, she should have played. In the nosotros form, we have nosotros debimos haber jugado, we should have played. In the ellos, ellas, ustedes form, we have ellos or ellas deberían haber jugado, they should have played. Hey everybody, just sit tight, we're almost at the end. We're just gonna go over some examples on how to use the conditional perfect tense. The first example, we have habría haber hablado con la maestra, pero se fue a casa temprano. That means I would have talked to the teacher, but she went home early. The next one we have, habríamos haber ido al parque, pero está lloviendo. We would have gone to the park, but it's raining. Deberías haber usado un sombrero afuera porque hace mucho frío. That means you should have worn a hat because it's cold outside. The last one we have, podrían haber usado una cuchara para comer su pastel, pero usaron sus manos. That means they could have used a spoon to eat their cake, but they used their hands. To wrap up the lesson, I just want to remind you that it is very, very important. It is imperative that you use the auxiliary verb haber when writing about or talking about things in the conditional perfect tense. Because if you do not, then you will be talking about something that would happen, could happen, or should happen. That would be in the simple conditional tense. No, they are not the same thing because in the conditional tense, you don't use haber. But in the conditional perfect tense, you do. Here we have an example and a non-example of the conditional perfect tense. The example, yo habría ido a la escuela ayer, pero estaba enfermo. This means I would have gone to school yesterday, but I was sick. This is in the conditional perfect tense because it is using the auxiliary verb haber. The non-example, Chuck and Dave irían al gimnasio, pero está cerrado. This means Chuck and Dave would go to the gym, but it's closed. This is not an example of the conditional perfect tense because it does not use haber. This is in the simple conditional tense because it is talking about what would happen, not would have happened. So if you want to talk in the conditional perfect tense, always use the auxiliary verb haber. Okay, everybody. That's all I have for today on the conditional perfect tense. The practice activity is a Kahoot. I hope y'all enjoy. See you next time. Adios.